Hi there, that's right. It's the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day in the Dutch, back on the camera again for another delightful tarot reading show. Now, before I actually crack on and start doing a couple of readings for you guys, I just want to cover a few quick subjects, because I do get inquiries once in a while from people who are concerned that there could be some kind of karmic influence upon a relationship, or indeed that maybe a form of witchcraft or other forms of black magic or sorcery could actually be involved in a particular situation, preventing someone from being able to develop the relationships that they actually want. Now, I have a fair quantity of experience with these matters, and from my experience and from my knowledge, the issue of karma is not something to be concerned about, because the karma that you have is also, to a certain degree, the karma that you make. And as such, it can be necessary to try and take what you've got and trying to improve upon matters through what you say and what you do. And that is much more powerful than to be concerned about happenings in a past life. Of course, I do things such as past life readings, but we do still have to operate appropriately in the here and now to make sure we get the right variety of results for ourselves and other people. Now, on the subject of witchcraft, this is also something which one should not have to worry about or be concerned about. One of the reasons I say this is I used to go to a number of witchcraft covens, and in one of them there was a certain group of people there who would always promote to other people and tell other people that they were the most highly powerful magicians and witches that you could possibly get. They would go on about the lineage and all the people that they learned from and all the rest. But with careful observation and through an analysis of the apparent results that they both claimed to have achieved and that they did achieve, as well as a deep and thorough analysis of their use of language, one could quite easily divine the fact that they weren't as good as they said they were. There are a lot of people in this world who say that some things can be achieved by magic, which can't be. And we have to be really rather skeptical when dealing with these people. So if your question is, could it be witchcraft that's stopping my relationship from developing, I would have to turn around to you and say, that's the least of your worries. The most important worry is how you behave in the relationship, the variety of communication that you do, and the changes that you make happen. Okay, now, Jitterbug121 has come back with another few questions. Yes, I do allow you to come back and ask more questions later on. Obviously, do bear in mind there is still a rota to go through, and so as such I can't always get back to them straight away. Okay, these are still being given out free of charge to you, though, via the wonders of the internet and the wonders of YouTube. Now, this is an interesting set of questions. The first one is, does the ex-husband still think of her, despite the fact that, of course, he is now remarried? Well, let's just have a quick look and see what's coming through for you there. Just a second, please. Okay, well, it's an interesting sense that I've got here, because on his side of things, the sense there is, yes, he's got a brand new future ahead of himself. He feels much more in control. It's not looking too bad. The signs there is, of course, the 20th major arcana and the Two of Staves. The thing which I call the forces between the two of them, namely between him and the partner, or the new wife, is not signs relating to happiness. So if your question is, does he regret what he has done, the short answer would have to be yes. Because he seems to have got himself into a situation in which he can't be totally 110% happy. There's a feeling of there being some disharmony there. What I don't want to do today is to try and get up your hopes to be able to say that yes, this person is going to come back into your life and everything's going to be wonderful, because life doesn't always work like that, basically, okay? So just be aware that he is thinking about you. There is still a sense of there being a bond there, and there is a feeling of regret, not just because he's suffering, because I also feel that he's more interested in, or more thinking about more how you feel as a result of the situation and how the changes have occurred. So yes, he does regret this. On your side of things, strong sense of almost treachery there, as if the feeling of being treated badly in a relationship is something which you're still carrying with you. You did mention something like that in your private message to me, but I didn't realize it would come out quite that extreme and quite that directly. The Hangman card often speaks of treachery or a fear of treachery. And in your particular case, if you've had a lot of bad relationship experiences, that would explain an awful lot. But I feel that the Ace of Coins there is giving you a sense of an awareness that stability is around the corner. It will happen for you. To a certain degree, your life is going to work out an awful lot better than your ex's life. And that's also something you've got to be aware of. Okay, she also wants us to know whether she's going to meet anyone new. Let's have a quick look. As is traditional, give the cards a quick shuffle, see basically what's coming through. Okay, splendid. Alright, very short-term future. And as I've said before, I often look at the colours when I'm doing a reading, as well as the symbology, as well as everything else. Looking still quite dark. I just feel that's a time of contemplation, and maybe that's your fear still getting the better of you. I would say that if you are feeling a bit depressed and fearful at the moment, I would say you've got a right to feel like that, because your situation has not been very good as far as relationships have been concerned, basically in the past. So you need to do some work directly upon your feelings about relationships and about what men are about. And if you can do that, things will work out very well. If you think about the change in the energy there, from the colours and signs we had there, onto the ones we've got here towards the end of the reading, we're talking about 6 to 8 months down the line from now. The happiness signs are incredibly strong, and the sense of being in control is also incredibly strong. You being in control, so essentially you'll be in a relationship where there is some form of mutual give and take, but also you'll still be able to have some control over your life, go out when you want, and try and steer the relationship round in the right way. So essentially the forces here are actually looking really rather good indeed. Do be aware that the last sign we had at the end of what looked like the bad period is a sense of there being a feeling of being protected. Now that would make sense that that's something to do with a new individual coming into your life. Possibly even someone who has some variety of familiarity with you, or at least feels familiar and feels stable and strong. So basically there's lots of different areas in which that relationship is really rather good, and this one is coming down the line for you not too far away. So keep your fingers crossed, keep your ear to the ground, and you're going to be fine. Okay, we've got one particular inquirer who's come back before called Goth Star Medium Luna, who just wants to make sure that once she's finished the studies, she'll be able to start the job in nursing and then to be able to move out from where she is at the moment. Let's have a quick look, just doing a quick shuffle and just seeing what kind of thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, all the rest of that appears for you today. Just bear with me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, we'll see what kind of things are appearing. Again, very interesting prognosis here. Can this be regarded as being a positive reading? Obviously it's a chronological reading, it's covering a certain period of time, and there's a sense of, again, a change of mood or a change of energy to a certain degree. Now, what have we got here? We got signs relating to, and I'm sure you've seen this before, the 3 of Coins is hard work being done. Okay? The Moon card and the Hermit do have some variety of mercurial connection, and by mercurial connection we're talking about healing or studying. And obviously if you're studying healing, then essentially that would go very well with you. Your very short-term future signs, I would say there's a sense of stagnation there, but there's also a sense of continuing the hard work and keeping the goal going, so that you can actually get to where you need to go. So the progression here is suggesting that you are going to be successful academically, and that there is going to be some hard work coming around the corner for you. A recommendation would be get the nursing job, make sure it's stable, and then do the move. Don't do it straight away. Don't suddenly think, right, well now I've got some money coming in within my first few days of working in the job, or first 2 months even. Now I can just sort the rest of my life out. You don't want to do these things too quickly. Alright, so take it easy. It's going to happen without the shadow of a doubt. You've still got a few changes to go through in the meantime, but the final result does still seem to be there for you. Okay, we got another inquirer called Fashion Lover, or at least that's her YouTube channel name. Very complex situation that Fashion Lover has already gone into in great detail in the private message I received through YouTube. So I'm not going to go into that right now. But what I am going to do is I'm going to focus on the question rather than on the situation, because you already know, Fashion Lover, you already know what the situation is. I personally shouldn't have to go into that in greater detail. But let's just see basically what the reading says about how your relationship life is going to go. So I'm aware of what he's done in the past, I'm aware of the situations and the complexities around that in the here and now, and of course I'm thinking about how things could go into the future. Here we go. Let's see what the reading says. Bear with me a second, please. Okay. Well, first and foremost, he's got a lot of benefits to provide you with in the future. Yes, we do have some dour signs, some rather negative signs here as well. But again, that's just to do with the fact that there's so much mental complexity or psychological complexity due to the nature of the whole situation, because of the history, alright, and because of what's happened in recent days. And that's why you've got the confusion and you want to know that there is going to be a longer term future emerging. But there is this sense that there's extra benefits this individual could provide you with, okay? On his side of the reading, well, the signs of somebody else there, it's going away slowly and surely. Very strong loving signs associated with yourself, alright? But this is also a relationship which will be built basically upon practical lines, as well as something more stable, more, as it were, beneficial for the longer term future, okay? On your side of the reading is concerned, yeah, there's a desire for victory, but there's also an awareness that things aren't quite there as of yet. And once the complexities are like calmed down, well, I believe that there is going to be a good quality longer term future there for you anyway. Because if there are mistakes made in the past, those can be big opportunities for learning and real clarity to appear in the relationship. But let's just expand the reading a little further and basically see what's coming through there. Massive contrast going on. Your immediate term future associated with this individual, and I think that this correlates relatively well with your current situation, is that feeling of instability, but also that feeling of instability being turned around. Because the meanings of the cards themselves vary depending upon the other signs associated with it, and also whether it's upright or upside down. The lightning struck tower is upside down, but also within the lightning struck tower symbol, we've also got the symbol of the Ouroboros, the serpent eating its own tail, which is suggesting that things have gone full circle to bring you to a new level, whereby instability will be coming to an end. Alright? Now, why would we even have an allusion towards instability in a relationship which, according to the reading, is working out well? Well, that's because you've got to go through the dark before you can see the light, and you can't actually appreciate something good unless you've been through something bad. Okay, there's a difference between pleasure and happiness, if you get my drift. Okay, and I feel that at some point in his life, and possibly even yours as well, there's been a drive towards pleasure more than there's been a drive towards happiness. But that's changing. Your longer term future signs marked out in the star card there. About 6 months down the line from now, I think that's going to work out very well for you. So you have got no real concerns in the longer term future, I'm pretty sure about that. But anyway, that's what the readings are saying today. If you want to request a reading, then go to the YouTube channel Nick Dutch Tarot and send a private message through, and I'll be happy to add you to the rota. In the meantime, I will bid you all good fortune, God and or Goddess and or none of the above God and or Goddess and or none of the above bless. I've got to stop giving myself tongue twisters, I'll tell you that for nothing. And I will speak to you very soon indeed. Don't forget to subscribe, it can be very therapeutic for yourself to watch other people's readings as well. And look forward to the next one. Speak to you in a bit.